Hello and welcome along to the start of a brand new mini-series on the channel here with me, Daniel. We're back in FM21 and we're here for Euro 2020. A year delayed due to the pandemic. We are back with the group stages and we have taken charge as a Sunday League manager with no coaching badges at Scotland. Now, for some of you who are new to the channel, you'll probably ask why Scotland. For most of you, you'll probably know after this year. Our head coach story, our main series on the channel, which I'll put a link to in the eye above, has led to a brilliant journey through Scotland. We've also had experience in the live stream save with Dundee United. And of course, I've picked up a number of Scottish followers from that as well. So I thought, why not? Why not go up against my own country with a side from the north? So Scotland instead of England. And our first game in the European Championships, even with a random draw without the database, is still Scotland v England. What are the chances? It's going to be a cracker. So the plan for this series is as follows. Today, we will introduce the squad that we've picked for the Euros. We'll go through the friendlies and we'll play against England in the first group stage match. In the next episode, next Sunday at the same time midday, we'll play Turkey and France in our other two group stage matches. And then, if we manage to get through, if we go as a lucky loser in third, if we go any further, then we'll have another episode the week after. If we go out and finish bottom in the group stages, then that'll be it. 2 episodes is all we'll see. So if you're looking forward to it and you are enjoying something a little different, please do chuck a little thumbs up on the video. If you're new to the channel for any reason, then subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. A massive thank you for your incredible support as always. There's links to all the main playlists in the eye above, as well as the trailer for the new food channel. And you can also catch up with the Twitch channel down in the description below, where we have regular live streams from FM21. But a massive thank you for coming to join me for another slightly new series. And for all of my Scottish followers this year, for the brilliant journey we've had in Scotland, I just felt like we had to do this. I'm recording this a good week or so in advance of you guys seeing it, so if there's any differences, if anything's changed in the footballing world, then I can only apologise in advance. But let's go and have a look at the squad we've picked for Euro 2020 with Scotland. We'll talk to you about why, we'll talk to you about who's missed out, we'll of course see how we got on in our 2 friendlies. You can see the scorelines up there in the top right. We'll talk to you about how we got to those outcomes. So let's go and have a look at our 23-man squad and those who we're going to be relying on in these 3 games. I guess we're targeting Turkey really, aren't we? So in terms of goalkeepers, and here's the ironic thing, there were a few players we've tried to get over who had English nationality. So we talked to Jed Steer, who's going to come in and be one of the keepers. We talked to Ryan Fredericks at right back. I think he'd already converted before we took over. So what we basically did is we holidayed through to May. We let them get through the qualifiers themselves. We've just taken over for the tournament. So the players have no previous positives from us. They've not got any excitement about us being in charge. And we've got no experience, which makes it all that much more harder. What is ironic, though, is the one who's converted in real life from English nationality to Scottish, which is Che Adams, is the one who rejected us. So he's not available for these championships, which is a shame because we've only got one striker of good enough quality. And I'd probably rather have had Che Adams than Oliver Birkin, to be honest. Despite the pace, he's not really developed in this game and he's not played a lot of football this season either. But the 3 goalkeepers we've gone for, Jed Steer obviously there, and then the 2 big experienced ones. David Marshall, the hero in real life that got them there, and Craig Gordon, bags of experience for him too. At the back, despite much deliberation, we are going for a back 4. So that means that we've got Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney. What are the chances that the best 2 players are a left back at the same time? Tierney can play across the back 4 though, so we'll come up with something different there. We've got Aaron Hickey available as a full-back option on both sides. Ryan Frederick available as a right back too. Scott McKenna, Grant Hanley and Liam Cooper, the main centre-halves who come to the championships. We have picked Ross McCrory as one of the centre mids, mainly because he can play centre-half, right back, holding mid and centre mid. And we obviously know him well from our live stream series with Dundee United. But he's going to be a good utility man here, basically. It was him or Matt Ritchie. And given the fact we were short of centre-half, we had to go for him instead. He's a bit younger as well, which helps. Into midfield, we've gone for the likes of Ryan Christie, Scott McTominay, no surprise whatsoever. Ryan Jack's been brilliant for us. Callum McGregor's looked good. John McGinner, class act. James Forrest just coming back to fitness is good. And Stuart Armstrong of Southampton too. Ryan Fraser, no shock to see him as the left winger. Basically though, after that there were about 5 players and 2 positions. So we've gone for Fleck and Gould, who we think was slightly better. Tom Kearney didn't really want to commit for playing for Scotland, and he played a lot less games for Fulham this year. So game time and form was something we had to consider. There were a few others that missed out. I've left them in the B team. So Barry Bannon, David Turnbull didn't quite have the legs. Lyndon Dykes as a striker, he was another one who just hadn't been scoring for QPR. And then defensively, it was between Sutar, Porteous, Finley, McKenna and Hanley for the last two centre-half spots. And I had to go for the ones that had been best in club form, had the best attributes and personality. And we had to think about fitness as well, with a game every 5 days after a pandemic season. So unfortunately, a few of our old legends missed out, Lawrence Shankland being another one. But up front, it's Ollie McBurney, and then Oliver Burke is the backup man. He's got bags of pace, and I fancy him off the bench to do something special. The good news is, if we go and have a look at the schedule and the warm-up matches, that we play Qatar and Moldova, a 5-1 win in the first one at home to Qatar. Ollie McBurney got a hat-trick there, Ryan Jack with one off the bench, and although Fraser picked up a knock, he's back well in time for today. And then a 4-1 win against Moldova with a backup rotated side. It was Fredericks, Burke who got one himself, McCrory and Grant Hanley with the goals. So we stuck with the same 11 there. It was sort of a backup team who we wanted to get fitness into. We basically picked all the players who didn't have good fitness, whether they were first teamers or reserves. Against Qatar, we were probably as close to at the time as the 11 we could go for today. We did have Andy Robertson out at the time. He just started training yesterday. He's not match sharp for this, which may be a worry. James Forrest, probably still not quite fit for this one. But for the second game against Turkey, he might be an invaluable asset off the bench. So that's the squad we've gone for. We've talked about the reason we've gone for Scotland. And in essence, I just want to see if I can do anything special with them. I'm not sure that we'll get past the group stages because we're not the most tactically gifted manager. And rather than the sort of Scotland style in real life, where they go with a back three, they try to be a bit more solid, they try to be a bit more defensively able. I mean, the likes of Stephen O'Donnell, who's been brilliant in real life, a former Luton man, my club, he couldn't make this squad because we just needed to have that strength going forward. And the reason we've said that is because we want to take the game to teams. We're going to play a 4-2-3-1. I know this is largely the backup team, but we're going to go attacking. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to play the ball out. We're going to work it into the box. We're going to play out from the back. We're going to play a higher defensive line. And we're just going to try and scare a few teams. I know it's a different tactic, but it's something we did with Bangor City to great effect in our Build a Nation save. And it's something I'm hoping we can do today. We're not going to play short passing football. We're going to play sort of mid-range, a bit direct, a bit wide. But we want to be on the front foot, and that's something I'm desperate to do even against the top opposition. I'd rather go out losing 4-3 every game than with a whimper losing 2-0. That's my thought process. Whether it will work out, we'll wait and see. We have drawn, as you've seen from the group stages, England, France and Turkey. So England, of course, in the group in real life, they're a great side. They're 5th in the world rankings. Scotland now down to 40th, I think, before we took over. If we have a quick look at them now. 42nd, in fact. It's got even worse. So they're not in a position where we're expected to do much against England. They've got, as you would expect, a wonderful side. And it's going to be a real tough test. But that little bitter rivalry might well do something. The Turkey game in the middle is probably the important one. They've still got a better side on paper. I mean, Siunchu's their 6th best player. And he's better than any of our centre-halves by a million miles. So that gives you an indication of where they are. And in France, they're the world champions. It's not going to be easy, is it? What we have done for this, just so you know the championships are going to be realistic, I've loaded every single top tier in Europe. I've loaded the second tier of some of the bigger nations and obviously the English pyramid. And I've also loaded the MLS, I've loaded the Australian League and the Chinese Super League. So between that, we should have covered 99% of the players who would feature in the Euros. So hopefully that will all work out well. But today, there's only one main event. It's Scotland v England. It's the European Championships. Let's go and pick our lineup and run through the 11. Here we go then. Our lineup for today for the game against England is as follows. We've got David Marshall between the sticks. We've opted for him. He's the fittest of the three and he's just about the best attribute-wise. We've got Ryan Fredericks in at right back. Andrew Robertson back into fitness at left back. Kieran Tierney and Liam Cooper combine at centre half. Them two and McKenna all left-footed. I mean, I don't really know what to do with them. I could play Robertson on the left wing and Tierney behind him, but then a centre-half we're really weak, so I feel like Tierney's our best option. We've gone for McGinn and McTominay the midfield two, McGinn the playmaker, McTominay box-to-box, Armstrong on the right wing, Ryan Fraser cutting in off the left, and then Callum McGregor, who for some reason in this game is absolutely stunning. behind Ollie McBurney, the deep line forward. A hat-trick in the warm-up game he featured in. He's been a super striker for us so far. And to be fair, he scored 14 goals in the Premier League in this universe. So he's going to be one hell of a player. It's just whether he can produce on the day. Everyone else on the bench, James Forrest's not really fit. But it's the strongest we can be. It's what I've picked as Scotland's Euro side in this save. So let's see if they can produce the goods. Into the game we go. It's Scotland v England. Can we get one over on the old foe? Well, as you would probably expect, a warning to close down and go hard on Harry Kane. Let's have a look at what they've gone for. Dean Henderson's the number one. That's interesting. Stones, Maguire, Alexander-Arnold and Chilwell. Probably no massive shock there. Henderson in the holding role. Mount and Foden, the two they've gone ahead of that. And then Sterling, Sancho and Kane, the front three. So I can't see any Marcus Rashford in the squad. So I'm presuming that's going to be injury bound. Whereas Tammy Abraham and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are both there. The likes of Rice, Phillips, Grealish on the bench. Gomez as a sub-defender. It's a very interesting squad, actually. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. There's a couple of people missing in there that you'd expect to see. But otherwise, it's a very strong 11. So let's go and get into this. We'll ask the boys to cause an upset. We like being the underdogs. And really, there's no pressure on us at all. You can see we've got no reputation ourselves. This could backfire hugely. A Sunday League manager, no coaching experience. And the first ever competitive game I'm managing is Scotland v England in the European Championships. Let's go and get into the first half and really hope we get a new manager bounce. Well, incidentally, I just went and checked Marcus Rashford. No injury whatsoever. United finished 6th, didn't win anything. And as a result, he's just not been picked. With 20 minutes gone here, though, we're holding our own. We're not seeing any of the game, which is absolutely incredible. But I'll take a point right now. We've had 2/3 of the possession near enough. There's only been one shot on target, and now it's a free kick for Ryan Fraser into the back post. Liam Cooper heads in. What a start this has been. Half an hour of holding your own. We look solid as a rock at the back. And then we take advantage of a set piece. Brilliant work from Scotland. And so far, so good. We said we wanted to go on the front foot. We said we wanted to scare the opposition. And against one of the big boys in Europe, we have managed to do just that. At half time is Scotland 1, England 0. And don't forget, if we get this result, forget about the other two games if we lose them. 3 points is probably enough to get us through as a lucky loser. You've got to bear that in mind as Armstrong finds Tierney from a corner. Here's McTominay to Armstrong again. We get a second as McBurney's in here. Oh, he's hit the post. It's then come out and hit Stones and bobbled behind for a corner. It's almost 2. Andy Robertson will take the corner. An in-swinger from the skipper. To the back post to McBurney. Jordan Henderson gets there first. McTominay recycles it. Down the line to Fraser. This has really surprised me. What a performance. Fraser draws the foul. And we've got a free kick in an almost identical position to the one we scored from in the first half. One shot on target for each side. We've taken advantage of ours. And with 52 on the clock, it's 1-0 to Scotland. Though Phil Foden is running the whole team here. He's just got to the last centre-half. Beats him as well. Into the box. Smashes the crossbar, does Phil Foden. That's stunning work from the City youngster. But it's not enough. It's still 1-0 Scotland as Fredericks throws in from the right. We're starting to see more highlights now. You'd suggest that England have gone more attacking, more aggressive. He probably had a kick up the backside at half-time as Fredericks comes forward again. Over halfway to Stuart Armstrong. Let's not forget we've still got a very good side. We haven't got the strength in depth, but the 11 generally is pretty good. As Tierney gets on the end of the clearance, can play wide to Robertson. I hope he'll last the 90, and he finds McGinn. Back to Tierney again. He goes all the way to David Marshall. He's got players out, and McGinn's one of them. Finds the space, puts it up to McBurney. He plays short to McTominay. Man over on the right is Stuart Armstrong. McBurney's running off him. He's in one-on-one here. Oh, the flag's gone up. We're going to VAR. Ollie McBurney, wonderful run. I thought he'd made it too. But we are really worrying this England defence. It's always been their Achilles heel. But we're making them look poor. It's 1-0 to Scotland. England get away with one there. And at the hour mark, I could not be more pleased. As Sterling gets it in an advanced position on the right. Back to Alexander-Arnold, who took the throw in. And Tammy Abraham's at the back stick to head in. It's 1-1. And just like that, the game is turning on its head. Great goal from the substitute for England. They chucked an extra striker on and it certainly worked. And now the onus is on us to do something. 1-1 would still be a great result, but I'm not convinced we'll hold on for it. Andy Robertson shattered at left back. I've got to do something. I have to take him off. Tierney will go to left back. Robertson will be replaced by Scott McKenna. In midfield, the tired legs are McGinn or McGregor. But who do I want to bring on? I'm going to go for McGregor off. Can any of the three play naturally in the holding role? Ryan Jack can. McTominay can't. And McGinn can't. So Ryan Jack is going to go back in there. He will be a defensive midfielder on defend. That's absolutely fine. In terms of strikers, McBurney's not had the best game. Of course, Ryan Fraser's still shattered. We might have to take him off. Or do I work on the premise that if he gets through the 90, we can then start James Forrest the next game? I'm going to leave it at 2 subs for now. But with 72 gone, the performance has been absolutely brilliant. We cannot fault these boys. And look how well we've kept the possession. It really is incredible. Though Trent Alexander-Arnold as a throw at right back to Henderson. Gives it away to Kieran Tierney. Surging down the left. Sterling can't keep up with him. Tierney gets all the way to the byline. There's 2 in the box if he can cross. Instead goes back to McBurney, who's not one of them weirdly. Into Armstrong at the back post. Knocks it down for Ryan Fraser. It's 2-1 Scotland. I was about to take the kid off. I was going to take Ryan Fraser off there. And he has turned up with what might well be the winner. Ryan Jack is not going to man-mark Harry Kane. That seems bizarre. But still, what a moment. John McGinn's had a poor game. He's not match fit. So it's either Gould or Fleck. I think Fleck's a bit more experienced and a bit more defensive. Albeit maybe not the better player. And he's the one we're going to go for. We are 9 minutes away from a hammer blow for England. 2 shots on target. 2 goals for Scotland. And how many minutes? 3 minutes of stoppage time added on. So for those of you that have been on the channel before, you will know all of the time wasting drills that are about to follow here. A fullback on defend for Fredericks and Tierney. The defensive midfield is just going to stay the same. McTominay will switch to a ball winner on defend. Fleck, a deep line playmaker on defend. Armstrong drops to the right of midfield. Fraser drops to the left of midfield. Both of them just standard wingers on support. McBurney will stay up there on his own. The rest of it though, I don't even know where to start. We're going to go cautious mentality. We're going to time waste all the time. We'll drop the tempo. We'll be more disciplined. We will hold our shape. I don't know if we want to regroup. I'm still going to press. We're going to slow the pace down. We are also going to drop the defensive line, the attacking line. And we're going to take off the short goalkeeper distribution because we don't want to press them in their own half. 2 minutes and 50 seconds from a Scotland win against England. Our first ever senior competitive game as a manager, and this could be the outcome. I could be about to become the most popular Englishman in Scotland. Let's see if we can hold on. It's a Phil Foden free kick into the back post. Harry Maguire's up. Just over the bar. He doesn't often miss those. What a narrow escape. But still, we have produced an absolute miracle. Scotland 2, England 1. Honestly, down in the comments, who thought that was coming 10 minutes ago? Because it certainly wasn't me. But we tried to take the game to them. We tried to keep the ball. We tried to be assertive. And although we didn't create a huge number of chances, it was a wonderful performance. 3 points for Scotland. And there you go. As an Englishman, I'm going to be very unpopular in England. Wonderful performance, wonderful result. And now, any points against France or Turkey. And you've got to assume we'll have a 3rd episode in this. What a start to the series, though. I didn't expect that. And Scotland defying all the odds. Scotland show cutting edge. Gareth Southgate's troubled. You never know. If we go on a massive run here, we could then take over England for the next World Cup. You never know how it works out. It could be a brilliant one. We could manage one in one tournament and one in the other. McTominay's proud of the unlikely win. And I tell you what, as this suggests, the squad reacts positively. If they had any doubts about us before, they're not going to now. Let's get through the press conference and see what's said. Gareth admitted we deserved it. Fair play to him for that. Not going to take the pressure off the English media for him. It's a right result. It's a brilliant performance. And what a start to the series. We've said what we're going to be back for next time. It is the 2nd and 3rd group stage game. Turkey and France are the 2 opponents. That game, a wonderful result at Hampden Park in Scotland. Turkey will be at Hampden Park. France at Hampden Park. So it seems like we've got home advantage for these games for some reason. We're not going to complain, but that will be the next episode. If you did enjoy this start to the mini-series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of that incredible performance and the squad I've selected. You might not have agreed with it 10 minutes ago, but it's very hard to argue now, isn't it? If you want to stay up to date and see how we get on for the rest of this series, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories, as well as this for the next couple of Sundays at midday. You can catch up with all our regular playlists in the eye above, as well as the link to the new food channel trailer. And down in the description below is a link to the Twitch channel where we'll have live streams every Sunday morning. But a massive thank you for watching, for joining along for another series. It is greatly appreciated. And what a start that is. I didn't see it coming. I'm sure none of you guys did. But I'll see you next time to find out if we can back it up.